Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Unlike any other YouTube channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, mine exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe. So let's get into today's video. Today's video is a bit unorthodox as I'm quite busy at work. So the first 3 battles of this set are going to be in the Ultra Premier Cup. The last 2 battles are going to be in the Open Ultra League. However, I am going to stick with the same team, which I'm now going to run through here. In the background, you'll be able to see the Pokemon, the movesets, and the IVs. So the team we're rolling with today is the Shadow Swampert lead, who I've previously said is the GOAT, and I still believe that. Running Mudshot, Hydro Cannon, and this time around we're running Earthquake. I don't need the poison coverage because we're running Drapion. Speaking of Drapion, we're running that with a newly buffed Poison Sting, Crunch, and Sludge Bomb. PV Poke recommends Aqua Tail, however, non-stab Aqua Tail is a bit naff. We're going for the 2 hard-hitting moves here. I want that Sludge Bomb for the fighters and fairies, and I want that Crunch for the legendaries Caress and Giratina. And we've obviously got a trusty safe swap, the big thick boy himself, Shadow Snorlax, running Lick, Body Slam, and Superpower. All this information will be on the left-hand side. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. These are my first battles of the Ultra League this season. We pick up an Obstagoon lead. As usual, all my teams are pretty weak to counter, especially Obstagoon. So we're going to build up to the back-to-back, hoping to deny the counter, which we do there. We're going to fire off this first Hydro Cannon. Opponent doesn't shield. We're going to let the first Night Slash through. You never want to shield the first Night Slash in case they boost. However, Swampert is going to win this in the 1 shield. Charge move coming through, so we're going to shield this up and we are going to outpace him to 2 more moves. This one here I imagine will get the shield. We let a counter through, but we're at the back-to-back, so we will be able to fire off the next Hydro Cannon right now. Now the opponent's got a decision to make. Do they want to shield and loose and win switch, or do they want to go down? They want to win switch, which is fine for us. We're not going to shield this. We're going to come in with our Drapion and look to get ahead in a bit of energy. So we're going to take 1 move and we're going to over farm. This is either a cross chop, which is neutral, or a Night Slash, which is resisted. Either way, we're not going to shield. It's just a Night Slash, doesn't do a lot. So we're over farming. On their 4th counter, just before we get to the next move, we are going to go for this resisted Crunch. Even though resisted from this health range is going to be more than enough to KO. Let's see what they come in with. They come in with a Swampert, a Shadow Swampert actually. So the opponent also realises it's the GOAT. This Crunch does huge damage, almost 50%. We instantly swap into Snorlax. The opponent banks around a Hydro Cannon and a half, and they've got a Charmer in the back. So at this stage, it's pretty much GG's, as there's not really a lot this Gramble's going to be able to do against us with no shields. We overfarm a little bit, however, we don't want to take too much charm damage. We're just going to get rid of it. And the Swampert is now going to have to come in and throw its energy, which they do immediately. We're not going to shield, as Drapion, it's got a bit of energy and a shield, so it's going to be more than enough to close out this first game. Charge move coming through, shield this up, and then it's 1 more Poison Sting, and this Crunch is going to be more than enough to finish off the Swampert. So straight away there, you can see a counter to Drapion Swampert goes down very easily to the Shadow Drapion. GG's to that opponent. Moving on into this next battle. See if we can get a bit of a better lead. We have our Shadow Swampert into another Obstagoon. Apparently everyone's looking to combat the very, very OP Jellicent and Galarian Stunfisk core. They switch out into a Charmer, so I immediately think this is double charm. I'm going to bring out Drapion and look to get both shields. I think my opponent will think they've trapped me. However, I know Snorlax got a real great matchup against Clefable or Grumble that I expect to see in the back. We're not baiting, we're going straight for these Sludge Bombs. The opponent shields one and actually lets one go. So down a shield and they've lost switch advantage. Back in comes the Obstagoon. We're going to wait our switch timer and bring back in Swampert. Swampert up a shield should have no problem seeing this match out. Charge move coming through. We're not going to shield. We never shield until they get the boost, so we really have to with Shadows. We're going to over farm. We're expecting them to try and catch at some stage. They haven't done that, so we're going to fire off this Hydro Cannon. Opponent lets it go through, and they actually swap into a Gallade. So we read the team comp wrong. I was expecting the common Obstagoon double charm. In comes Gallade, but this isn't too bad. These licks are hitting for super effective. They are really chunking down, although confusion is hurting us as well. Opponent builds up to 6 confusions. They've got enough for the close combat. I don't think they're going to throw it. I dare them to. It's just a Leaf Blade. Another Leaf Blade. We are going to let this go. Even though we've got 2 shields, we don't want to give the opponent a win con. We don't want them to come in and farm down our Snorlax and then apply a lot of shield pressure to this Swampert. So 1 Hydro Cannon is going to see off this Gallade. And we're going to just make it to this next Hydro Cannon. So as you can see, triple shadows, 2 shield flexing in this second game. GG's to the opponent. We'll save them shields for Season 9. Moving on into this next battle. Let's hope we don't see an Obstagoon lead. So we've got our Shadow Swampert into yet another Dark type. However, this is Umbreon. Umbreon is a positive matchup for Swampert. If I can land 1 Hydro Cannon and 1 Earthquake in the 0 shield, that puts the Umbreon down into mudshot down range. We'll see how the opponent wants to play. We build up to the Earthquake and we fire off this Hydro Cannon. We time our move to deny the Snarl, which is great. The opponent's already shielding, which is a bit of a surprise. Most people don't shield their thick boy in the lead. However, we're going to match shields, and I'm already at the Earthquake, so I'm now going to look for this hard-hitting move. I really doubt the opponent double shields, which they don't. You can see there it does about 60%. This 1 Hydro Cannon would take them out. They actually make a great switch into a water type. I haven't quite seen what it is yet, but this Hydro Cannon comes through as a Feraligatr, so that's a real spicy pick. We're going to match that with our Snorlax. It's running Ice Fang, which doesn't charge energy great, so we're going to get this Body Slam off. And the Feraligatr now is in lick down range. Charge move coming through. I expect this to be the Hydro Cannon. Does a fair chunk, but nothing to worry about. Snorlax now licks down. We've got a bit of residual energy. We'll see what they've got in the back. In the back is a Talonflame. So we time our charge move again, not to give away any Incinerate, as we don't want to give away 5 free turns of energy. Opponent shields up. They're now in the no shield. Opponent's getting really greedy, so we actually get to another Body Slam. We're going to fire this off and instantly switch into our Drapion. Opponent's still farming, which is a massive mistake. They had to throw before because we're now CMP tied, which means I can shield this up and they're not going to be able to switch out, and this crunch is going to be enough to take them out. So the opponent throwing the extra Incinerate there has cost them the match. Well, I think we probably would have won anyway, but that is a mistake from the opponent. You don't want to over farm so heavily that it gives the opponent, or me in this case, the opportunity to shield and take you out. Opponent throws the last resort, and we've got 3 Pokemon left, so they quit out. So moving on to this next battle. The same team, we're going to take on the Open Ultra. I did actually build this team for the Open Ultra, but I know a lot of you are interested in Premier Cup, so we thought we'd run it in there too. We're at 3-0 there. Oh, and straight away we picked up a terrible lead. Swampert into Giratina. We look to catch on 5, however the opponent's a bit too smart for that. Our Snorlax meets a Venusaur. We're just going to fire off these Body Slams. Opponent's already shielding. So it looks like the opponent's going to try and win switch, as they know we can't bring our Swampert back into a loaded Venusaur. Charge move coming through. We're going to let this go through. Does a decent chunk. However, we're now going to fire off another Body Slam. Opponent shields again. They really are committing to switch. However, they're not going to be able to Vine Whip us down from there. That's decent counting by the opponent. They throw just before we get to a charge move. However, I'm not interested in shielding, as I've got a great answer for Venusaur. Wait out of switch time, we bring in Drapion. Drapion resists absolutely everything. The opponent switches back out into Giratina. They fire off a charge move. It's not going to do a lot. We are now in return going to fire off a super effective Crunch. I undercharge this. I only go for a Great because this Crunch does normally do massive damage. I'm going to switch out into Swampert. We'll eat this next charge move. And what I'm going to try and do here, I'm going to look to build up a load of energy. Obviously the Earthquake would KO, but then the Venusaur would come back in and fire off a Frenzy Plant. I've got a move stored. So we're going to fire off the Hydro Cannon. And now we're just committing to mudshotting them down. The plan here is to keep our 2 shields. When the Venusaur comes back in, we're going to hit the Earthquake, which is now, you can see that we lose CMP, so we can shield this up. And the Earthquake is going to go through and take out the Venusaur. Earthquake coming through. This is going to be enough to finish them off. You can see they was anticipating the swap, and we were real quick to make sure they didn't have the back-to-back. Now we're going to instantly swap into our Drapion. In the back's an Alolan Muk. This is not, well, it's not really a great matchup for either of us. We're both hitting each other with resisted. However, we have got a shield, unlike them. Charge move coming through. I'm not going to shield this up in case they're going to try and acid spray us. It's just a Dark Pulse. We're timing our charge moves to not let them get any extra snarls in. We'll see if Drapion can clutch this game out. Looks like one more Sludge Bomb is going to take him out. I'm going to have to shield this move up, which we do here. I expect the opponent to try and sack. There is the attempted sack, but on 1 HP, that's not going to happen. And this Sludge Bomb is going to be enough to clutch out this next battle. So terrible lead there. Snorlax safe swap yet again comes in clutch. Moving on into the 5th and final battle. Can we clutch out a 5-0 in our first set? So we have our Shadow Swampert lead into a Gengar. We actually got two really good answers for Gengar. So what we're going to do is we're going to let them get build up to 5. And we actually both have the same idea. We instant swap. Opponent brings in a Tangrowth. That's a really spicy pick for the Open Ultra. But obviously the Rock Slide now it probably will almost one-shot Talonflame. And obviously it's got great play against Swampert. It's a spicy pick but does have some play. The opponent actually baits us with a Rock Slide, but we're going to shield this move up and we're going to look to win switch. If I can win switch, I am going to take it as we've got Drapion in the back, which is going to resist all of Gengar's move. I undercharge this in case they don't shield, which they don't. That gives us the opportunity to get a couple of licks worth of damage on whatever comes in. And in the back, there's a Clefable. So I'm going to fire off this Body Slam and I'm going to look to swap back into my Swampert. Swampert's low on energy. I'm expecting the Gengar to come back in, but they actually don't switch out, which is fine for us. We're just going to spam off these Hydro Cannons and see how the opponent wants to play it. Opponent's using the shield. We've got the back-to-back. We're going to fire another move. We'll see if the opponent wants to double shield. They do double shields though, hoping the win cons probably to charm down everything. However, we've got a nice shock from in the back. Charge move coming through. We're going to let this go. And now Drapion is going to be in a prime position to clutch out this game. Here's a Drapion showcase, so obviously Drapion's got to clutch out this game for us. Anticipating the swap, we're over farming. There is the swap. They're throwing, they're only left on 5. This is a Shadow Punch. We're not even going to respect it or shield it as it is resisted. Doesn't do a lot. This crunch is going to do huge damage. Will it one-shot the Gengar? Boom. There it is. Nice one-shot. In comes Clefable, and this is why we run Sludge Bomb. I don't think we need a Sludge Bomb from this health, but it's always nice to sludge a fairy. So you can see there, the team did work really well in both Premier and Open Ultra. We managed to go a perfect 5-0 in our first set. So just like to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this type of content, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.